Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, where you're guaranteed to see a game you've never seen before. We're now in 1981 playing all the video games we couldn't find a definite release date for in alphabetical order, and we last left off with Mind Challengers for the Texas Instruments TI-99-4A. Imagine a world before Tetris. All the puzzlers always seem to catch the eye of the intellectual, or you have to be super smart to do a puzzle game, like Rubik's Cubes and so forth. Well, after Mind Challengers, let's see what our next video game is. We're next going to be checking out Mission Impossible for the Atari home computer, and this is not based on the movies, not based on the TV show. It technically changed its name to a different one called Secret Mission, because obviously the TV show didn't like that they were calling it Mission Impossible. This is the first release. We're going to check out on the Atari home computer, and this was on several other home computers as well. So let's first take a look at the box. Here's the front for Mission Impossible, Adventure number 3 by Scott Adams. And we flip it over in the back, just like all Adventure International games. They have so much information. On the far right side, they have an overview, the story, what's happening in the game. This one, we are a secret agent, and man, oh man, it copies a lot from the TV show Mission Impossible. Good morning. Your mission is to, and so it starts. Will you be able to complete your mission on time? Or is the world's first automated nuclear reactor doomed? Well, this one's named It's Hard. There is no magic, but plenty of suspense. Good luck. So if you look at the parameters, it gives you, what do they call this? They call this classification a compu-novel. Don't even say genre. But that's what we're going to be playing. This is an interactive fiction game or text adventure game, the third by Scott Adams, in a series of plenty of, I think at this point in 1981, we are up to 12 or 13 of his adventures. And there's an example of the screenshot. For other versions, we have just an alternate one, but this is the only one we'll see with cursive handwriting. If you like your text adventures in cursive, then you need to play them on the Atari home computer. These originally came out for the TRS-80, and we'll be seeing all of them. All right, so we can fix our margins. We're done. Do we want to restore a previously saved game? No. There we go. Adam's Adventure. The same opening we've seen time and time again. The authors worked a year on this program, so don't copy that floppy or accept a pirated copy. And we're here. Welcome to Adventure number 3, Mission Impossible by Scott Adams, dedicated to Megan Adams. A minute ago, someone ran out of this room. By the way, I seem to be carrying something. I'm in a briefing room. Visible items are the large tape recorder, and exits are west. Can we go west? Okay, now we're in a long, sloping gray corridor. Exits are north, south, east, west, up, and down. Let's go down. I'm now in a twisting yellow hallway, and you can see as most text adventures go, you're having to maneuver or make your way around the location using directions and then picking up items, collecting things. As with most of the Scott Adams adventure games at this time, this is a 2-word text parser, and you're collecting treasure or so forth and then moving back to a different spot. For this one, you have a mission to disable a nuclear reactor. That's your Mission Impossible. And that is our brief taste of Mission Impossible for the Atari home computer. And the reason I say brief taste is because we're going to be checking this out on everything. And I mean, we're going to be doing this on not just the Atari home computer. We're going to also be checking out Mission Impossible for the Radio Shack TRS-80. This is the Radio Shack version. For artwork, it is pretty similar. If you just look in the top left corner, it just states this is the TRS-80 Model 1 or Model 3 version. And then back of the box, exactly the same. This one has a little more info if you had the cassette version. Good morning, Mr. Phelps. Whoa, that's exactly like Mission Impossible. Your adventure begins. A mad saboteur has rigged the world's only first automated nuclear reactor to explode, and also rewired the security system. You and the saboteur are the only ones in the computer control reacting building. Can you find the bomb before it's too late? And there's the example of the first way you could play the game on TRS-80 in the styrofoam packaging with the cassette tape. And then this is the other one, re-released by Creative Computing Software. All right, for this one, pretty much the same that we saw before, all text. And whenever you boot this one up, this is adventure number 3. We have to do a few commands to get into the game. But once you're in, it's a Scott Adams adventure game. There we go, Adventure 3. What is your name? Let's make it Tom. Oh, we can do caps, that's right. We'll be Tom Cruise. Even though it's way before Tom Cruise did Mission Impossible. Do we want to restore a previously saved game? No. There we go, same opening we saw from before. Authors worked a year on the program, so don't accept that pirated copy. And welcome to adventure number 3, Mission Impossible. By Scott Adams. A minute ago, someone ran out of the room. By the way, I seem to be carrying something. What are we carrying? If I say inventory, I got a surgically implanted bomb detector which glows green that shows the bomb is safe. Okay, that's good. Can we use recorder? You don't know how to use something. We are on a 2-word text parser, so it is very limited considering all other interactive fiction games, at least for the adventure style games. All right, so obvious exits are west. Let's go west. And then now let's go up. We're in a twisting white hallway. Let's go east. Now we're in the blue hallway. Let's go east, or let's go south. And you can see it's giving us just a really small maze for the opening of the game. We're back in the same sloping gray corridor. And if we go to the west, there we go. We're in a maintenance room number 1. Visible items are the empty plastic pail. Get that pail. And we can go back east now. And then we can go, let's go south. So we're in the gray room. We have a box with the apparatus pointing at chair. Chair bolted to floor. Oh, so we can't get chair, right? Because it's bolted? Yeah. You can't. I can't do that. It won't budge. Apparatus pointing at the chair. Get apparatus? Wait, you don't know. Did I spell it wrong? It doesn't know what apparatus is. Yeah, it is spelled correctly, but it doesn't know what it is. So even though it's in the game, they didn't program it to be an item you could use. Yeah, this time we have a walkthrough for the game. So this was the TRS-80 version. I'm just doing quick views of the other computers or all the computer versions you could have. And then when we get to the one you could play on IBM or MS-DOS, then we'll play that one. So that was the TRS-80, Radio Shack TRS-80, and then we next have the VIC-20 version called Mission Impossible Adventure. So take a look at the box for this one. There it is. This is on cartridge. The way to do it. Different artwork. They changed up a little bit. Looks more like you're a secret agent. Or possibly someone that's disarming a nuclear reactor. And for any other artwork for this one, believe we have just 2 different versions. And the back of the box looks like it's a European back of the box. And we have the VIC-20 manual. That's right. VIC-20 came with a manual. Who knew? Scott Adams Adventure Games, a friendly instruction guide. And this one goes to, I guess, Adventureland, Pirate Cove, Mission Impossible, Voodoo Castle, and The Count. So the first 5 of his adventure games. Your guide to adventures of Scott Adams. And there it is, the mascot of how to use the VIC-20 with Scott Adams Adventure Games. This little cartridge guy. What do you need? We need the VIC-20. And then optional equipment, the Commodore dataset to save. Getting started. That's how we load everything up. We can breeze by those. And then for the VIC-20, they require you to put in SYS 32592 to load the correct adventure. That's right, but we won't need to do that. If you have any problems, check your VIC-20. And then this is the part I wanted to see. How adventure games work. Adventure games are mind fantasies. In the beginning, you find yourself in a specific location, and you have to start exploring. You can accomplish a variety of tasks by typing a 1- or 2-word command and hitting the return key to enter it. If you make a mistake typing, you can use the cursor and insert delete key to correct the error before hitting the return key. By the way, the VIC screen editor is still on, so you could just cursor up or to retype anything, retype something. When you type a command, it will appear on your screen in one color, and the VIC will respond with a message in a different color. This makes it easy to see what's happening as you go through the game. Don't be discouraged if you don't solve the adventure right away. That's the challenge. You have to keep exploring and trying different techniques to get further and further through the adventure, accumulate more points, and get closer to accomplishing your mission. See, they make it sound so easy in 1981. Don't be discouraged. It's okay. Some of these puzzles that were for these adventure games we've seen so far are extremely difficult. Sometimes they don't even make sense logically. They just, you just try a different item that you never used before, but most of the time they're cryptic as all get out. How do you play an adventure? So they give us some examples of the words you might use and what you say to play the game. And if a command the computer doesn't do or doesn't understand, it'll say, I can't do that, or I don't understand. When this happens, try thinking of another way to say it, like a different verb. Instead of go swimming, try saying swim. It's so easy. Even with all these help walkthroughs and these tips we've seen, we even had some magazines that were giving us tips on adventure games. It is still very, very difficult. For a time when you didn't have internet, man, you had to spend a lot of time in front of the computer waiting, possibly coming back to it at another time. We also have one-letter commands, and then this is talking about the Votrax voice synthesizer for adventure games, where you can have it read the game to you, or read it out to you. So cool. Then for directional commands, how do you move around in there? You can use north, south, east, west, up and down, and then inventory is I and V. This is the kind of thing that I wish when we first started text adventure games or played our first text adventure game, we had something to give us a brief overview of it. Yeah, that's true. That's good for people that are visually impaired. All right, how do you save the game? You got to have another hardware to save the game on your VIC. How do you load it? Got it. And then playing hints. Each room is represented by a box with the name of the room, and all original items found in it are noted alongside it. Directions from the location are indicated by a line, and this is the kind of map you would have drawn yourself back in 1981. Which room you move to and how to get there, and then what you find there. So it's, let's see. Oh yeah, they're saying, they're giving you a tip of how to draw the map. So very cool. That's what you would have done back then, especially for these kind of interactive fiction games. Yeah, they're giving you examples of how to draw the map for it. That's pretty good. And then other hints. Try typing help if you get stuck, and we've used that for a few interactive fiction games. So in summary, your adventure game is a sophisticated puzzle which will take many entertaining hours to explore and solve. There's 3 recommended approaches to the game. And these are the ones we've read in, I believe, Analog Computing, where they were breaking down, oh no, it's Softline for the Apple II. So they break down what's the best way or tips for adventure games. And here they are. Try to go as far as you can. Try to map the adventure so you can find your way, and then solve it by, oh, this is about the count, to try to get to the end of your quest. For sheer entertainment and creative challenge, you can't beat these adventures. That's right, Adventures by Scott Adams, and even more information about how it works. So lots of reading material if you wanted to play a game that was not an arcade game or an action game. So cool, we got the VIC-20 manual. Awesome. All right, so for different versions, we're going to be playing this one because I know it works correctly. This is, at some point in 1981, the release of Mission Impossible Adventure for the VIC-20. Do we want to restore a previously saved game? Nope. There we go. I'm in a briefing room. We have the tape recorder. Welcome to adventure number 3, Mission Impossible. So still called Mission Impossible at this point. They haven't changed it to Secret Mission. No one got sued yet. A minute ago, someone ran out of the room. By the way, I seem to be carrying something. What shall I do now? Play tape recorder? Does it understand 3 words? Yeah, no. Play recorder. Good morning, Mr. Phelps. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to prevent the automated nuclear reactor from being destroyed by a saboteur's time bomb. The saboteur, who also rewired the security system, is a heart patient. He plans to suicide with the reactor. He is still loose in the building. You'll find security keys and a map in the manila envelope lying next to the tape player. What shall you do now? This one is harder to read. It's very wide text. So this was what it looks like on the VIC-20, and you saw it's the same game that we played from before. So there's the VIC-20 version of Mission Impossible Adventure. And finally, before we go to the next one, all 3 of these games, I'm just going to say for ratings, these are bare bones right down the center. 3 stars, average games that you could play for the time. From Radio Shack, the TRS-80 not one is better than the other unless you think cursive writing would be better on the Atari home computer. But they're all average games for the time. 3 stars for Mission Impossible Adventure. So now the last one, which is Mission Impossible for PC Booter or IBM compatibles. This is the last one we'll be checking out and playing a little bit more. You can see the box looks slightly different. So many different versions of the box had to be made. Same opening, though, that we saw from before, and then same back of the box. And we have the manual for this one. But this one is cheating a little bit. This is the Saga, S-A-G-A, Scott Adams Graphic Adventure Instructions. Okay, so this isn't the correct manual. We'll be playing the game that is the text-only version. And then for other versions, we have a walkthrough to check out Mission Impossible, and we can play a little bit further. So here we go. At some point in 1981, we got Mission Impossible, but not the TV show, not the one you'd expect. So same thing we saw before. Welcome to adventure number 3, Mission Impossible, dedicated to Megan Adams. A minute ago, someone ran out of the room. By the way, I seem to be carrying something. All right, so let's do play recorder. Play recorder. Good morning, Mr. Phelps. It's the same mission. Find the security keys and map in the manila envelope lying next to the tape recorder. So, it doesn't say that. Get folder? What? You find the security keys and map in a manila... Wait, if it's next to the tape player, then where... Hold on, look again. Yeah, all it says is the tape recorder, but it says you'll find security keys and a map in the manila envelope lying next to the tape player. Okay, so get recorder. Someone came in the room and saw me and ran out. So it's probably the guy we got to get to. And then next we go west. We're now in a long sloping gray corridor. And now we'll go south. I'm in a gray room. Now that we're in the gray room, you can see a box with apparatus pointing at a chair and a chair bolted to the floor. So what do? If it's Mission Impossible or you see the TV show, we get in that chair. Sit, chair. I'm sitting in a gray chair. There's a box pointing at me. Obvious exits are none. I can also see a row of 4 buttons, red, white, blue, and yellow, and keyholes are under the button. So this is one of the first puzzles, and most of the Scott Adams games had this, where they started with something as a very difficult puzzle. If you could get past that first puzzle, then you had a little bit of gameplay to go through. And sometimes in the manual or instructions, they give you the tips to get past the first big puzzle. And Sierra did this too, or online systems, where if you had the manual, the proof that you bought the game, they would give you the answer to the first really cryptic puzzle to let you move to the next section. All right, so let's do push red. Click. My bomb detector angrily buzzes. Uh-oh, that's scary. All right, so next push white. Click! There's a bright flash, and I hear something fall to the floor. I can't see what it is from here, though. My bomb detector politely beeps. Get up. So I'm back in the gray room. There's a picture of me stamped as visitor. So, get picture. Got it. And if I look at inventory, what do I got? The tape recorder, picture of me stamped, and the bomb detector. Gotcha. All right, so now there is... the next part, which is going to be a lot difficult. We have to kill time until the saboteur croaks and then look in various rooms until you find him. So the next part of the game, at least that's what the walkthrough is telling me, we have to wait until that guy who ran off in the next room dies and then find out which room he was left in. So you have to look in various rooms. So we're just moving around. So we can go north from here. And then let's go north again. Blue twisting hallway. Looks like he's not here. Go north again. Yeah, so the guide that I have says just take this time to practice your map-making skills while you play the game. So we did play a little bit. You can understand how the game works. We won't play any further than that. We'll just give you another quick taste of Mission Impossible, and just like the others, this one is 3 stars, and a very average game for the time. If you enjoy the text adventure games, you can't miss with Scott Adams games. And with that, let's see what's next. After we play every single video game, the next place we're going to is the Commodore VIC-20 again, and this is Mole Attack, a very, very popular game for the VIC-20 in the beginning. Let's take a look at the box for Mole Attack. Advertised as the friendly computer. And this is, whenever I was looking up information on the VIC-20, these pictures of the moles were used with the VIC-20 and the Commodore Max machine, and it's just a very classic look for the VIC-20 at the time. Any other artwork we have for Mole Attack? I believe, no, just the cartridge that we just have to pop it and play. And here's the manual, Mole Attack. Yeah, there we go. I don't even know if that they look like half mole, half anteater on the manual. But you can see over on the left side, Commodore International is the one that's the publisher. How do we set up? We got to make sure we read all instructions carefully. Anytime we play home computer games, the manual tells us make sure you read everything. And back when you bought these, if you got these complete in box, the majority of people would read all this information. It's like the computer person, they knew the computer person wanted to and get as much information as they could on the game. For the console people that only want to just play some arcade games, though, not as much. All right, so let's see. We read instructions, you plug it in the cartridge, center the picture, gotcha. Task of the program is to get rid of garden moles. The moles will systematically pop up from the holes displayed on their screen, depending on whether they pop their heads up or posterior out of the hole. You can hit moles with a mallet and score points. How do you start? You push F1. How do you use the mallet? Oh, nice. So it's just classic whack-a-mole. We got 6 holes. You use the keys on your keyboard, and then they score your points. Bingo. Don't even know if we needed the manual, but glad we had the manual. Any other versions? Several different ones. We're going to be checking out the original, released at some point in 1981. Look at that. Developed by HAL Laboratory. Published by Commodore Business Machines. This is Mole Attack. All right. So from the beginning, it's explaining how the points work. And then whenever you whack the mole, how many points you get depending on where he is. And if you have a keyboard in front of you, you can look down. It's the 6 buttons that are in the center of the keyboard. That's what you use for your control. So no joystick. You're literally just pushing the buttons, and that's how you whack the mole. It's classic whack-a-mole. And the moles will have their head or their butt sticking up, or as the manual says, their posterior. All right, pushing F1 to start. Here we go. First time checking out Whack-A-Mole on the VIC-20. All right, so it's all keyboard. Oh, man. Yeah, you got to be quick. Oh, okay, I forgot. You do not want to hit the moles on the bottom, just the head. This plays just like you'd expect. It's whack-a-mole. It works really well with using the 9 keys in the center. It's fantastic. Since this was developed by HAL Laboratory, this is another game we're going to see later on the Commodore Max machine, which was in Japan only, and this is one of the titles for that system. I would love to know if Satoru Iwata worked on this one. After enough misses, it's game over. But that's essentially it. It's whack-a-mole. Surprisingly, for all the games we played on the channel, we haven't played a video whack-a-mole game yet. This is our very first one. Not to say that there wasn't any that you could play, because there's still arcade games and redemption games you could get for tickets. So there were plenty of whack-a-mole, like physical whack-a-mole systems, but for a video game, this is the very first whack-a-mole game we have ever played on the channel. All right, so that was Mole Attack. Of all the games we played so far, I don't know if I can fault that, because it's exactly what it says. It's whack-a-mole. So and it does exactly what it would expect to do. So I would say for the time, it's fun point drawing, but still nothing to really push it above or anything beyond that. So I'd say it's about 3 stars. It's an average game considering everything else we've seen up to this point. It is an excellent arcade game. Yeah, that's true. There's probably plenty of type-in games that that you could have played yourself on other home computers, but this one is an official using a cartridge to play the video game. All right, that was Mole Attack. Let's see what our next game is. We're going to Europe now. This is the Handheld VTech Time and Fun, and this is Monkey, the ripoff of Game & Watch. That's all they're going to be known as, Time and Fun. Sorry. There's the front of the box for Monkey, new by VTech. You can see the system itself looks really close to the Game & Watch. Just 2 buttons on left and right. It even has Game 1 and Game A and Game B. Same thing. All right, let's put in the palm of our hand Monkey by VTech, released at some point in 1981. There it is. Let's try game A. Starting off with pushing game A. I just have 2 buttons to my left and right, and yeah, I figured the formula already. No need for a manual. All you got to do is move your guy at the top of the screen, smash the monkeys, and get them down before they get your coconuts. There we go. Get away from my coconuts. Yeah, there we go. It starts simple, and then it starts to ramp up the difficulty faster and faster. He got it. Oh, they see him sneak away with it. Nice. But that's it. That's the idea. It's the time waster moving left and right. As a ripoff of Nintendo Game & Watch, it's exactly what Nintendo Game & Watch already started. So even though we call these the ripoff, it still plays exactly the same, or what you'd expect for the time. And there you go. That's Monkey. For all the games we played up to this point, it is subpar. There's a few handhelds that we played that are much better than this. It has the same formula, though, for Nintendo Game & Watch, so I'll still say 2.5 stars, just slightly below average, considering every other handheld we've seen for the time. That was Monkey. Let's see what game we're playing now. We're now on the Magnavox Odyssey 2. This is Monkeyshines. Let's take a look at the box for Monkeyshines. Computerized monkeys, unlimited action, trillions of combinations. You'll go ape. They call this their Challenger series. Magnavox Odyssey 2 is the other console that's in competition with Intellivision and Atari. Falling behind, Atari is still number 1 in 1981. The ultimate computer video game system. Why? Magnavox Odyssey says the keyboard gives you even more gameplay than the other ones. Monkeyshines has 5 computerized puzzle games filled with action-packed monkey business. You'll go ape over monkey tag, monkey chess, tailspin, shut-eye, and bananas. You have to be as agile as 4 computer-smart monkeys that run, jump, climb, tease, dive, swing, hop, spin, scamper, and cavort over virtually endless patterns of monkey bars. There's literally trillions of possible combinations. Wait, what? This is okay. We've already seen Magnavox Odyssey games have different game modes to compete with Atari. Because, for example, the Atari home version had over 100 game variations. And so we've seen Magnavox Odyssey try to compete with that and up the ante. But we've never heard a game say trillions of possible combinations. So I got to see about that. And here's the example of the cartridge. And it says it's only 1 game mode. Usually, if there's trillions of combinations, you can push different things on the keyboard. But every cartridge for the Magnavox Odyssey 2 and the Philips Video Pack, when you popped it in the top, you could see what to push on your keyboard. Unless you're playing something like Conquest of the World. That one's way more complicated. But this one makes it easy so you know what to push. There's only 1 game and 1 game mode, so I don't know what they mean by trillions. We'll see about that. We have the manual. Here is the manual for Monkeyshines. Let's see what happens. Before you begin, how do you insert the cartridge? Turn the power on. Got it. Yes. All right, nice. How do we play? Okay, first game we can play is Monkey Tag. For 1 or 2 players, you push 0 on the Odyssey 2 keyboard, and the screen displays 4 computer-controlled monkeys in a matrix of monkey bars. 2 men appear in the lower right and left, and they're activated by the hand controls. There we are. I can see us. Did it say who the developer was? Do we have it? We don't have it here. I'm looking for it on the manual. They didn't advertise it as much as Activision. Activision was very proud of their developers. The object of the game is to tag as many monkeys as you can with your man without getting tagged back. The left-hand control maneuvers the man in the lower left of the screen. You push the joystick to the right and left to make a move. And there's the example of the Magnavox Odyssey controller. It looks really similar to the Ataris, but the joystick is smaller. Not as suited as well. It is kind of cool with the grooves to get the 8 directions if you need to have a little more fine-tuned. But no, I still say the Atari controller feels the best, if you've ever held the Magnavox Odyssey 2 controller. So we can also jump. Use the button and you can jump. What in the world? No way. So you can use the joystick and jump up platforms. I got to check that out. Apparently the platforms are monkey bars, I guess. You can jump diagonally. You tag the monkey, and then it jumps away. If you catch the monkey and delay, the monkey will jump away without being tagged. So the point of the game is to tag a monkey. Once they get tagged, then they turn red. And then if they turn red, they come after you, then you'll lose a point. But it's keeping track of your score in the bottom left, where all the high scores are. Yeah, I've never heard of Monkeyshines. When a monkey's tagged, they'll get turned red and try to tag you back. So it's like playing tag with monkeys on the screen, and it is two people at the same time. So I better get 2 controllers ready in case we have to have 2 people. But the new game starts automatically after that, and you're just trying to tag whoever can tag the most monkeys. Every game automatically starts at the first skill level with 10 points. If you would wish to play at other levels, you can. Is this the next one? No, this is still about the monkey tag. The next game they have is Tailspin. This one, the monkey bars rotate upwards to a new position. And what you do is you push R on the keyboard to rotate it, and then S to stop. The alphabet section of the keyboard to stop the rotation. Monkey bars will continually rise up. So they change. They're changing where the monkey bars are in Tailspin. And then Shut Eye game mode, it's pushing I to make the monkey bars invisible. Gotcha. Okay, so that's the other game mode. Monkey bars are invisible to jump through. And then they reappear if one of your man is falling on the heads of another one. And then we have Monkey Chess. For 3 people, okay. You push 0 again, but now we have a new kind of chess against the Grandmaster, the Great Monkey himself. He has twice as many pieces, but you have complete control of the board. It's the classic game turned inside out. So 2 people are operating the hand controls. The 3rd player tries to outwit the Great Monkey by changing the pattern of the chessboard of the monkey bars throughout the game. So, oh, okay, so this game mode is allowing a 3rd person to use the keyboard to make changes to the screen. This is a very bizarre comparison, but this kind of reminds me of the Wii U. Like if 2 people are playing a platform game with controllers, the 3rd person's on the screen making changes to the game itself. That's essentially what they're doing, but they're using the keyboard of the Odyssey 2. Fascinating. So the 3rd person is making changes like changing the bars up on the screen, pushing the buttons to add a vertical. See, they're adding bars and removing bars from the screen, depending on what they put on the keyboard. Look at that. It's showing you how to make horizontal and remove monkey bars and change up the gameplay. Wow. Yeah, you can even make cages to hide the monkeys in, because the person that has the keyboard control, or the 3rd player, can design the board themselves. This is what they meant by trillions of game modes. This is essentially, they're giving someone the ability to reprogram the game using the keyboard in an easy way. Look at the controls. All you got to do is know which button to push and letter, and they even give you the grid. The game itself has monkey, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's your grid to draw and change the game board. Wow, that's impressive. Player controlling the keyboard can also insert obstacle bars in pursuit of the red monkeys. And then they have another game mode, Bananas. In Bananas, this one is using, again, the 3rd person, but the 3rd person is, look at this, they can rotate the screen, stop the screen, make the bars invisible or visible again, and then play monkey chess, putting in horizontal bars all over. So it's somebody that's basically messing around, pushing everything on the keyboard, while 2 people are trying to play the game at the same time. It's Bananas. And that's it. Yeah, that is Bananas. Monkeyshines is impressive. We have another homebrew manual, but I don't think we'll need that. Yeah, we don't need this one. We have the scanned copy of it. Here we go. It's time to pop in and play Monkeyshines. Developed by Ed Averitt. Released at some point in 1981. Way to go, Ed. I can't believe this is a game this impressive. So right off the bat, we'll just push 0, and we're in. So I'm holding the left hand controller. I'm moving around as a left person, and I can push the button and jump. Good, and I can push the joystick at an angle and jump higher. Wow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if my calculation is correct, this is the very first time you could play a platform game with jumping at home. We've played platform games that you could move around, but this is the very first time we could jump. So Donkey Kong in the arcades was one of the first times we saw platforming jumping, but here I am at home playing a platform game. I'm able to move around the monkey bars and jump around. Whoever's playing as the 2nd player, though, obviously isn't here, but if I wanted to, I could move their controller around, and they could jump. Oh, wow, yeah. As far as platformers go, it is really clunky. But this is the first time at home you could move someone around on a platform and jump, and you even have control of diagonally moving around. Looks like they gave me a point, and now that monkey's red, so you got to run away or you'll lose it. Lose a point, so that looks correct. Now, I only see one score. Does that mean we're working together? You can even use your momentum to jump forward. So the 8-way joystick of the the 8-way joystick of the Magnavox Odyssey lets you jump forward and get some momentum, but then you can also jump straight up like this, or jump at an angle. Wow, that's impressive. Ed Averitt did this, and he did a lot of the work for the Magnavox Odyssey too. That's why you see it look very similar with most of the games. Ed Averitt was Magnavox Odyssey 2. From the beginning, he did a lot of the programming. All right, so if you can see how the game works with 2 people, this is the first game mode, and then on the keyboard is how you can make things rotate, right? Yeah, so I'm trying to do the other ones. What about I? Yeah, there we go. So if you want to make the walls invisible, you can. And then V is go back. There we go. So you can refer to the manual, and then if you had 3 people, the idea is the 2 people on the screen, they're not competing. Actually, I want to see the score. Yeah, so the 2 people are combining their scores together. The other person's out of the game already. They already lost, because if you get touched by the red monkey, that's it. But in the bottom left, that score is the combined score of the 2 people that are controlling the hand controllers. And then the monkeys have their own score as the red score. So whoever is in if you're playing with 3 people, the third person that's using the keyboard, they can change things up. Like, can I do Y? Yeah, so you can see, you can use the coordinates to make changes to the map live. And then is it, yeah, there you go. So I just added a monkey bar to Y6, so then I can jump to that platform. Or if I wanted to go over here, this will be a little more dangerous. If I wanted to go, I want to get a platform to go up. Oh, it won't let me go? There we go. So you jump past the top. I have it randomized. We're doing the Go Bananas right now. But if I want a platform up there, I would do K8. Oh, we're dead. So if we had a third person, then the third person would be victorious because both players are immobilized. We're both white, and we're out of the game. And there we go. It resets. Goes to the next round. So you can see the third player, if they were on the keyboard, would have gotten 6 points. But man, oh man, that's impressive. For all the games we've played up to this point, we haven't seen anything taking this formula. There's so many things at work here. It's difficult to begin. First, this is a platform game. While it is really clunky, it kind of reminds me of the jump mechanics of Ice Climbers, if you've ever played it. After you go from Mario back to Ice Climbers, it feels way off. So with Monkeyshines, it's the same thing, but you are being able to jump from platform to platform for the very first time at home. Then second, this has, like they said, lots of game modes because the third person that's on the keyboard can reprogram the level while they're playing it to try to get them to mess up. So you could play with 2 people controlling people on the screen and the third person messing around on the keyboard. It is awesome. Yeah, and that's a good point considering the hardware, because we've seen this system. It was originally the Philips Video Pack in 1978. And this is awesome. So if I was going to say this for just the system itself, I'd say 5 stars. But considering all the other games we played up to this point, it doesn't quite make it as the best game you could play at the time. Playing tag with monkeys, it's okay. It really doesn't have a lot of fun factor considering the other games we played up to this point. But it's still really good. For the creativity alone, I'm going to go 4.5 stars. It's still one of the best games you could play in 1981. Who knew? Monkeyshines. So cool. All right, and with that, let's see what our next game is after Monkeyshines. We're now on the Apple II, and this is Monty Plays Scrabble. One of the very first games we've had of video game Scrabble. Let's take a look at the box for the front of it. This is Monty Plays Scrabble. Ooh, and it is licensed by Scrabble. Yeah, there we go. There's a 5 1/4 floppy disk. And here we go. This game requires 48K of RAM, the most we've seen for the time. So if you want to play Monty Plays Scrabble in 1981, you got to fork up the dough for the RAM. All right, let's pop it and play, or slide in the disc and play Monty Plays Scrabble for the Apple II. And just Stuart subscribed with Prime. Thanks so much, Stuart. Appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, Monty Plays Scrabble gives us a ditty. We get Scrabble and a song. Is building the board for us. Nice. Is by Ritem doing a 2001 Space Odyssey, or the opening thus spoke Zarathustra. Scrabble is trademark of Selchow. Yeah, because this is real Scrabble. I'm aware of Commodore PET having a Scrabble-like game, but this is the very first game we've ever played that was endorsed by the Scrabble company. And now we're graduating? Is that Monty? Yeah, it is. Greetings. My name is Monty. It's a great joy to play Scrabble with you. Who is to Monty's left? Well, as usual, let's check the chat. L. Curtis B. is to Monty's left. Who is to L. Curtis B's left? Seward is to L. Curtis B's left. Who's to Seward's left? I guess it's be me, Chrono. So that was 4 people. This means this is you can play a 4-player game. How would you like Monty to assign the tiles? Yes, I would. Assign those tiles. So for a game that we just shelled out a lot of cash, if it was the Apple II and then 48K of memory, we're putting up, I think that's close to $2 grand. Don't quote me on that. I know it's just very expensive. Now each player should draw 1 tile. Please draw for Monty also. So who goes first? Let's say, does L. Curtis B work? Or Chrono? I don't know why L. Curtis B didn't work. Okay, shuffling the tiles. We have the board of Scrabble. How well does it play? For the very first game that you could play with the license of Scrabble. L. Curtis B, to see your tiles, press the button or use spacebar. So interesting. You're playing this on one screen. Usually you play this, on a board. So I guess everyone leaves. Everyone walk away, and so L. Curtis B can spacebar, and you can see what tiles he has. LUFCOOI. And after drawing tiles, please press spacebar. So that's what you got. Okay, we're supposed to memorize that? All right. And then Greg Stewart. So now everyone else leave so that Stewart can see his tiles. You push spacebar, and there you go. That's what he got. SWS. OK. Oh, with the wild card one too. So memorize that. So I guess this means you would have to write it down to play the game, because we're familiar with video games in 1981 that required a board game as well. I think this may need you to write this down on paper, unless you memorized what tiles you drew. And Chrono, what do I got? Everybody leave. I'm going to look at my tiles. FBE PDZS. And spacebar, go for it. And then Monty's drawing their tiles, and I bet we can't see. Yeah, we can't see Monty's, but we can see or know about everybody else's. All right, so current level of Monty is 2. Sure, let's do 2. What is your word? Oh gosh, so that means we would have had to remember what tiles they drew and possibly wrote them down and keep the paper in front of you. So if you had 3 other people or 4 people, because I think you can take over Monty's position, the computer, and if you played the game with 4 people surrounded on the computer, everybody would write their tiles down on paper, and you'd just be keeping track of it and making sure no one else can see it. But that means everybody would have to leave the room when the computer displays it super big on the screen. So I don't even remember my tiles, but for a game that requires 48K and a game that you use the licensed version of Scrabble, that is really impressive. For the Apple II. All right, so for all the games we played up to this point, it's definitely above average. It is a board game, and it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's done very, very well. I would say 4 stars, considering everything else we've seen up to this point. A Scrabble game. Official Scrabble game. So 4 stars for Monty Plays Scrabble. That's pretty impressive. All right, let's see what our next game is. The next game is in the arcades. This is Moon Shuttle. Let's go to Japan and check out Moon Shuttle, starting with the artwork. Here's the advertisement flyer. Looks like we got 2 of them. This one is the Nichibutsu advertisement flyer. The invasion of strong enemy forces and the Prince of Darkness, a decisive challenge against the coming dictatorship of the universe. And then the other one is the Taito one, which I believe was the publisher or the distributor in other regions. Mega score for mega bucks. There's a terrible picture of the arcade cabinet. You can't even tell if it's the... Oh, I guess you can kind of see with the arcade marquee. And there's our PCB. For control panel, it looks like we move up, down, right, and then we have a fire button. Yeah, so up, down, thrust, and fire for Moon Shuttle. Oh, so sorry, Greg. Yeah, we weren't writing them down, but if I was going to play Scrabble, that'd be the one, especially for 1981. All right, so let's take a look at the manual for Moon Shuttle. Does it have anything about what the game is? So this one is the Taito one, which is why we're seeing it in English. It was originally in Japan in the arcades. There we go, intro. Moon Shuttle is an electronic video game designed for 1 or 2 players. Object of the game is to destroy the attacking Centrons, electric jelly plasma jacks which divide when hit, and the Retons. Whatever, Reton, sounds like an insult, which are worth extra bonus points. Also, to maneuver the player's spaceship through the meteor belt safely. The player has the ability to move the spaceship upward down to avoid a collision, and also to speed the spaceship up through the meteor belt. This can be accomplished only in the meteor sequences. The fire button is used to destroy aliens and the meteors in order to provide a path through the meteor belt. The player's spaceship has unlimited firing power. As the screens progress, some of the meteors have more vertical movement than others, which makes it more difficult to avoid a collision. So it's multiple game modes. So it's not the same game. They're mixing up the formula for us. They got smaller spaceships that will appear at random hidden among the meteors. And then I want to see if they tell us about the types of game modes. So we have game inspection, don't care about that. Power, nope. Dip switch settings, nope. Option, volume, don't need any of that. How to clean, nope, don't need that. Looks like it doesn't, because we've seen a lot of manuals for arcade systems. After they break down the technical specs and so forth, then they go into the different game modes, testing it out whenever you boot it up. And I want to see if they break down all the game modes. It looks like no, everything else is technical. So nothing else for Moon Shuttle. We got a brief overview. So for versions, we got the Japanese version in US. We're going to Japan. This is the first release of Moon Shuttle, released at some point in 1981 by Nichibutsu. There we go. Got some artwork around the outside. And the presentation, man, I think, did everybody get the memo in the Golden Age arcade games? You got to have a colorful star field. At least now, it looks like we're horizontally scrolling instead of vertical. That's really impressive font, though, for the title screens matching the advertisement flyer. This might be top tier. It might be. So as attract mode goes through, let's just see how much it gives us, or what it tells us about Moon Shuttle. Never give up. Never surrender. All right, let's put a coin in. Oh, nice. And push and start. Here we go. All right, so starting off with the first game mode, which is blazing our way through the asteroid belt. And can we speed up? Yeah, we can move to the right and speed through it. Sound and... Oh, it's talking to us too. Sound effects are good. They even rate us. It was so-so. We only did so-so. Oh man, yeah, the shooting sound effects are great. We need some new enemies, though. This looks like I'm shooting a bunch of ball sacks. I know you have to go for originality and new enemies in space games, but not this. Maybe these are the what did the manual call them again? Retorts? But it is a horizontally scrolling game. Oh, and okay, we go to the next game mode, which is shooting the meteors. So for Moon Shuttle, it's switching up the game modes in 2 different ways. Okay, now we got meteor fields that are moving on the background. I'm trying to thrust through. Go. Got 1,000 points, but we're still so-so. What? Come on, Moon Shuttle. Give me some credit. Alright, so next round, who do we got now? Oh yeah, this is great. And the talking in the background. I can't make out exactly what it's saying. But I'm loving how the arcade games are adding more things to make you want to keep playing. It's not the same thing repeating or one screen repeating. We're actually getting new content. Now what I'd like to know is, if I die, does the game continue if I say continue? We've only seen one arcade game so far that said, if you continue with, 10... Oh, it's getting harder. Okay, here we go. Oh, man, yeah, this is going to be tricky. Are we even... Never give up. Am I done? No, this is our last life. So we're moving now to the next screen. So it did go past the asteroid field for us. Like, the asteroid field is a bonus stage. Oh man, yeah, the new enemies are game over, but we have... Oh, interesting. Okay, very bizarre, because the control, if you saw the joystick, it was like a three-way joystick. You just go up, down, and right. So, change the ability to insert... Yeah, all I have, the right stick isn't allowing me to move to the right. It's not responding. All I can do is, yeah, that's what it is. You have to move down until you get to the end. So I'll just go by YZZ for right now. Okay, here we go. So can I put a coin in? And can I push start on this and continue where we left off? No. Okay, so it's similar to Super Cobra or Scramble. You're not going to continue where you left off. It doesn't have any checkpoints. You just have to be that good to continue playing the arcade game. But man, oh man, it makes me want to play and get better at the game.
Good luck.
Good luck. Okay, I heard that one. Nice. And we also have talking. That's great. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the asteroid field is the bonus mode. But this one, I think that you just kill as many enemies as you can before you move on to the next one. But well done, making the video games where you want to see what the next enemy is, instead of the formula that Space Invaders started, which is you clear the screen and then you move on to the next one, and it's the same thing, but it's getting harder and harder. Alright, let's hold back and see if we can blast our way through. You can see the hitboxes of the asteroids aren't perfect. You have to kind of... Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Go, go, go. Yeah, there we go. Good luck. Any game that talks in 1981 automatically gets bonus points. Oh yeah, the other thing I've noticed is the enemies, at least the later ones, they're getting smarter. They're actually finding my position and attacking that position. Wow, yeah. The games are getting smarter. Will we get smarter on Chronologically Gaming? You'll have to see. There we go. We got it. Moving on. Okay, go to the next one. Let's go, let's go. Blast our way through. See right there, I'm supposed... The hitbox of that asteroid is going right through it. Pretty finicky, if you ask me. Whoa! Narrowly made through. What? I'm still so-so. Come on. Now the game's taunting me. Alright, here's our last enemy's last life. Yeah, they got multiple shots too. The I think I got 3 total shots I can hit at one time. Wow. Oh man. Yeah, this is another game in the arcades that I want to continue to play and see what is next. All right, let's see if I can actually put my name in the right way now that I know how it works. It's pretty bizarre because the joystick only goes up, down, and right. So but this one you can't even use right. All you can use is up and down. But we got it. There we go. High score. So while we just do a taste of the video game, we're not doing the whole thing entirely. Obviously, we can't do that for role-playing games too. But the arcade games, you can kind of see how it starts. We began with arcade games that had single fixed screen. And then if you played through the screen, it repeated over and over again. Now in 1981, the majority of the games in arcade are giving you something else, or another level or another screen that changes up the gameplay. Primarily the ones that are horizontally scrolling. You continue to the right, and you get to see more or another level that comes up. This one is still keeping us on the same screen. We're still on a fixed screen. I know the star feels scrolling, but it's not doing anything that's letting us pretend or make us feel like we're moving on to another area or another zone. This one is kind of static still. All right, so Moon Shuttle, pretty cool. For the time, it's not what I would consider the best of the best, or the best game you could ever play after all the games, but it is very, very good. Man, the talking is excellent. The control is interesting. All you can do is move up and down, but it does have the other game mode with the asteroid field, having to move through it. So if the chat wants to help me out, I'm still going to go about 4 stars for Moon Shuttle. It's a very good game, not the best game you could see for the time. Above average. So I was going to say 4 stars for Moon Shuttle. It's still done pretty well, considering everything else we've seen up to this point. There we go, 4 stars for Moon Shuttle. And with that, it's time to put our video game playing on pause, but do not fret. We have so many more games to go through. In 1981, we are in the M's. We're going to continue playing all the releases that were released at some point in 1981. And like I always say, don't forget to hang up those monkey bars. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.